Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Breach coming to you. Tonight was Wednesday, main event night. Honestly, when I was looking at my Twitter timeline throughout the day, not that many people were tweeting about main event. After last week, I was really hoping that it would be getting sort of like a revamp of a whole bunch of people tuning in to watch. Last week was a really, really awesome match. United States Championship. Kofi Kingston, the champion, went in and he battled the guy he's having the feud with right now, Antonio Cesaro, the guy he beat for the belt. And it was an awesome, awesome classic match. This is the match that, this show is named main event for a reason. It's stealing off of, back in the day, the Saturday night's main event approach, or the specials that they used to run with the main event, much like Hogan versus Andre, one of the biggest events that WWE or wrestling has ever run on mainstream television. But it was a long match. It was at least close to 20 minutes, and it was back and forth, a real lot of action. It was sort of like, maybe if you fast forward into the future, I don't know how long it's going to be, 5 years, and Kofi Kingston and Antonio Cesaro were having a real match on pay-per-view for the WWE Championship or something like that. That is sort of what this would be. They went back and forth. Well, maybe not because it had commercials in it. But if you have DVR like me, and you can fast forward through it, it'll be just like that. But that was a really good episode of main event. I hadn't seen it in a few weeks, and I think all the hype is what actually brought me in to make sure that I watched it. If you have a DVR, this show's only 1 hour. It's not going to take up that much time. Make sure you pop it on there, because this week I got home from work, and I was actually really looking forward to this match. I had not read the spoilers last night, but I had read, actually I heard it the day before on the Observer Radio. They mentioned that this one was going to be Antonio Cesaro going up against Randy Orton, and I was thinking over in my head, really what could happen. On Monday Night Raw, Big Show got involved at the end of Randy Orton's match, and would he be coming out to sort of hurt Randy Orton, before their big match, Extreme Rules, maybe, anger him or get underneath his skin, helping him lose. Everybody knows that Antonio Cesaro really needs a win. Cesaro, he lost the title, and Kofi's really had his number, and he hasn't been able to get that big win back and get that title back. He held it for, JBL said, over 200 days. It was a real long United States title run. He won it at SummerSlam last year, so that shows you how long they really had it. And I was really hoping that once he dropped that title, he would be moving up in the ranks. It seems like he's sort of lost right now in that mid-card, but at least when he came out on Monday Night Raw, he had that real big match against Zack Ryder. They at least let him, be cool again with this cool little entrance. No more yodeling crap. It was just down to business about kicking ass. And really, that's what this match was all about. He was looking to make his big, boom, he's trying to make his impact, I guess is the word I'm trying to look for. He's beating somebody like Randy Orton. I sort of went into this match, like I said before, looking that this would be some sort of a disqualification or something to give Cesaro the rub. But honestly, it just was a real good knockout match from these two guys. It probably went about 15 minutes, to be honest. But it was real fun. A lot of back and forth action. A lot of stuff, where there was one bad spot. Cesaro got up on the top rope and he was supposed to jump off, and Orton was supposed to catch him, but before he jumped off, he noticed Orton wasn't paying attention yet, so he did this weird looking jump, and it really played off on TV that everybody was sort of not in the right spot yet. I was just hoping that it wasn't supposed to be like some sort of RKO or something like that, but it really wasn't that big of a spot in the match. And I don't know, there's always that one spot in the match that doesn't look that great. And to me, one of the worst moves there is that sort of in between the ropes DDT that Orton does, because everybody just sort of seems to fall into that position, much like when Rey Mysterio does the 619. It just sometimes, a lot of times, the way they set it up just doesn't make sense. Cesaro was running the ropes, running at Randy Orton, and Orton just sort of moved out of the way. And somehow Cesaro went through the ropes, came back, turned around, and was just in the perfect spot for Orton to hit his little DDT thing. From there, the match went a little longer. Cesaro was able to hit his big uppercut, but as they went down, it was a close, clear 2 count. But you saw that Cesaro had the advantage. You actually thought maybe they were going to let Orton, put this guy over. Orton hasn't really been in the best spot in the world in the last few in the last few months. But if he was able to help Cesaro out, that'd be real huge, and maybe that'd be him sort of getting back in the good graces ever since his last time getting in trouble with the wellness whole thing. But it wasn't it. He was just sort of like playing possum as Cesaro came up from the 2 count. He was going to hit the what is his finisher called? It's the what's it called? Equalizer? I can't remember what Cesaro's finisher's called, but it's something like that. But as he's about to hit it, that's when Randy Orton, flips it around. He's able to turn it right into an RKO, and it was out of the middle of nowhere. It was one of those ones from back in the day that really just was stunning and took your breath away. And it was like, well, this one's over. Cesaro's gonna have to fight another day. It's not gonna be good. From there. There was a spot during there, the first commercial they went to. Like I said, I had it on DVR, so I was able to fast forward through it. But there was a commercial for Monday Night Raw. It said WWE, so I sort of stopped it and played it to see what they were hyping up. And it was the fucking dance-off between Fandango and Chris Jericho. Anybody who's watching this show who's, more than likely, you gotta say, is if you're watching Main Event, you're probably gonna watch Raw. But you always have to think that more than likely there's somebody out there who's watching this who just is maybe watching for the first time and trying to get back into wrestling. What is it about a dance-off on Monday Night Raw between Chris Jericho and Fandango that's going to make the casual fan want to draw in for this? Nothing. It reminds me a lot of that Scott Steiner versus Triple H debate from back in the day that made me walk away from wrestling for almost close to 2 years. The next match was a return bout from next week, sort of. It was Justin Gabriel and 3-man band. They were a 3-man band was pissed that Gabriel got the win over Heath Slater after Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal were kicked out from ringside from getting into the match. From there, Gabriel came out. He was challenged to a 6-man tag. He brought out the Usos out of anybody on the whole roster. He went and got the Usos to step up for him. And I'm a 3-man band! They came out. It was it was fun. It was a damn good match. I won't lie to you. I was on the Skype. I was talking with Gemini, and we were going back and forth. He was making fun of me because I was watching Main Event, asking me why I wanted to watch the Jobber shows. I was trying to, fess up to him that it was one of the better shows on, that WWE puts out because it's only an hour. It keeps your interest. And it's not really about jobbers. That sort of turned into us talking about Saturday night's Main Event today. Me defending the last 6 months when Jimmy Hart took over, I guess you can say, as the booker of WCW Saturday night. And he, just ran it like he was his own little promotion. He realized that none of the stars were going to come in. He made sure that WCW gave him a championship. The TV title, I believe, is what it was. That was after Hacksaw found it in the trash after Scott Hall threw it away, and he just sort of showed up, and that was their world title that they ran with. And when you watched it every week, the title moved around every once in a while. Guys got established, and for an hour of wrestling, that actually had angles that were on its own show. It was really fun. It reminded me a lot of what ECW would become after WWE restarted it and everything like that. But in this match, Justin Gabriel hit his finisher. It's still one of the best finishers in the WWE. I've said it 1,000 times. Why they haven't pushed this guy and put the Intercontinental title on him yet, I will never know. He scores wins on like Superstars, Main Event, Saturday Morning Slam, but he can't get the job done on SmackDown or Raw. Someday they'll see the light on this guy, the former member of Nexus, and he'll get pushed to the top. But as I said, this was 1 hour. It was good shit. I didn't fast forward through any of the matches. I talked over a little bit of them. I finally learned about what the hell those things are on Cesaro's legs from JBL. But that's it. Everybody have fun. Impact Thursday night. Hopefully I'll be able to check that out and get a review up on that because it's a live show, so it's going to be one of the fun ones. Make sure you watch that. Make sure you watch this show if you watch this right now. If you're watching 9 minutes, you got enough time to squeeze this in. And make sure you set Saturday Morning Slam on the DVR for Saturday. Peace out.